living in Brooklyn. Record of 23-0, 17 by knockout. Charlie White Lightning Brown, and this crowd chanting for Harry Arroyo. And it's a Youngstown, Ohio welcome for 26-year-old Harry Arroyo. Record of 24-0, 18 by knockout. Harry Arroyo fighting in his hometown and hearing it from the crowd. We'll be back with Arroyo and Brown after these words. Ringside, Youngstown, Ohio, Marv Albert, Ferdy Pacheco. We are getting set for fight time. Let's go to the ring for the introductions. Here's Bob Anderson.
To the Struthers Fieldhouse in Youngstown, Ohio, where Top Ranked Incorporated presents an afternoon of boxing.
I thought she was going to faint.
The International Boxing Federation Lightweight Championship of the World. This 15-round bout is sanctioned by the Ohio Boxing Commission, Joseph Blackie Gennaro, chairman, and by the International Boxing Federation, Robert W. Lee, president, Walter Stone, supervisor. The judges are Harold Letterman from the state of New York, Frank Cappuccino from the state of Pennsylvania, and Tim Figley from the state of Ohio. Your referee for this afternoon's fight, Larry Hazard from the state of New Jersey. And now, in the red corner, in the blue corner, the challenger, formerly from Moline, Illinois, now residing in Brooklyn, New York, with a record of 23-0, 17 knockouts, Charlie White Lightning Brown. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, wearing blue trunks, the champion from Youngstown, Ohio, with a record of 24-0 with 18 knockouts, Harry Arroyo.
Okay, gentlemen, I went over the rules with both of you in your dressing room. Do you have any questions at this time? Okay, shake hands. Good luck to you both. Come out fighting at the bell.
Instructions from referee Larry Hazard as you look at the tail of the tape, and the height advantage to Harry Arroyo along with the decisive 7-inch reach advantage. Larry Hazard receiving a rousing welcome here in Youngstown. The scoring on the 10-point system handled by the 3 judges, Harold Letterman, Frank Cappuccino, and Tim Figley. No standing 8 count. There is a mandatory 8 on a knockdown, or if the fighter is helpless across the ropes. 3 knockdown rule not in effect, and the bell does not save the fighter except in the final round. Charlie White Lightning Brown, who likes to flail away but has had difficulty avoiding right hands. On the other hand, Harry Arroyo has been a notorious slow starter. He admits that he's often blown the first couple of rounds, although against Robin Blake he did start quickly and then tired in the later rounds.
Well, in this fight, Charlie Brown figures to start out fast because he's in front of a hometown audience and he's got to capture the attention of the judges almost immediately. Now, he doesn't know any way to fight but forward. When he goes back straight line with his head right up, and that's where he's gotten in trouble in the past.
And he got caught by the left hand of Arroyo.
You're going to see a lot of flush punches from Arroyo to Charlie Brown, but Brown takes those punches. It's been his history to take a lot of punishment in order to inflict a few good blows.
White Lightning Brown has good punching power, superb hand and foot speed. His defense questionable, particularly vulnerable to the right hand, and Arroyo very methodical and very patient.
That's a keynote, patience. He's just waiting for him to make those mistakes. And Charlie Brown will oblige him because he fights with fury and not with intelligence. He just comes forward. Very straight up and down. He doesn't bend. Tailor-made for strong jab, which Arroyo has, and hooks off the jab.
And the crowd responding to everything Arroyo throws. That time the glancing right hand did not do any damage. That did do some damage. Less than a minute left. This the opening round. It's scheduled for 15. Harry Arroyo defending his International Boxing Federation lightweight title. Again, no effect with that right hand thrown by Arroyo.
Arroyo looks like he's just trying to put enough powder on some of those punches to make Charlie Brown realize you can't just come in and expect not to pay the price on the way in. Oh, butted heads.
Harry Arroyo has been able to stay away from the combination attempts of Charlie Brown. Final seconds, first round.
Don't you wish everything fit like Lee? Fit like Lee jeans do. Don't you wish everything fit as well as Lee jeans fit on you? Don't you wish everything felt as good? Don't you wish everything only could? Don't you wish everything fit?
Lee, the brand that fits.
In the beginning, man's feet walked free, but the road to civilization was paved. So man developed.
You're looking good. Got that hook.
And this is round two. Harry Arroyo in the blue. 24-0, 18 by knockout. Charlie White Lightning Brown in the black, 23-0, 17 by knockout. Brown is only 20 years old. He turned 23 days ago. Arroyo at 26 years of age. Arroyo, one of 16 children. He began working at age 12 to help support his family. Family that worked hard to make great strides. One of Harry's sister is a tax attorney. One of his brothers an accountant. So Harry hits the big money. He's ready.
He's got everything it takes if his jab works right. Right now, between rounds, both men got a little work under the eye, under the left eye of Arroyo. They were putting some anticoagulant-looking substance. He has a little bruise under there. Bear in mind, White Lightning cannot back up from Arroyo. He goes back in a straight line with his head straight up. That's the kind of thing that's tailor-made for Harry Arroyo. He's fighting a patient fight as Arroyo. He's been able to land the more telling blows. White Lightning not coming in with the abandon that he did in that first round. Bear in mind, while White Lightning is only 20 years old, he started fighting at the age of 7 and had 350 professional fights, including international fights. That's a lot of fighting.
And reportedly 334 victories and 90 KOs as an amateur.
So you're talking about a man that's had a lot of ring experience in 20 years of fighting. The wife,
Elise Arroyo, Harry's wife, here at ringside along with Harry Arroyo's dad, Theodore. His mom prefers not attending his fights.
a wise move.
Good right hand by Brown.
Good right hand, and immediately Arroyo covered up, went into the ropes, and spun out of there. Smart fighter, Harry Arroyo.
Charlie Brown's career was halted briefly last year when he fell off a motorcycle and broke his left wrist, which may have actually been a blessing in disguise. At the time, the feeling of many boxing people was he was fighting too frequently. Nice spindle by Arroyo, and he caught Brown with the right hand.
Good defensive moves by Arroyo. Little flick of blood under his eye. Both men have little knots under each eye. Charlie Brown under the left eye, and also Arroyo under the left eye.
And we're closing in on the end of the second round. Combination by Brown that got in on Arroyo.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
And here's Charlie White Lightning Brown coming out for round 3 to go up against Harry Arroyo. Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. We're at the Struthers High School Fieldhouse just outside of Youngstown, Ohio. What does the fight doctor scorecard tell us?
I've got an even fight. It's the defense of Arroyo, and every once in a while the scoring of White Lightning as he comes in. White Lightning, the aggressor right now, as it figured to be. And they've had a pretty even fight. They have not inflicted meaningful damage to each other. Arroyo's starting to find the range more as that last round ended.
And the crowd continues to respond to everything that Harry Arroyo does. In recent fights, Charlie Brown has had difficulty making the 135-pound weight limit. Did not have trouble for this one. But the problem has been Charlie waiting until the final week before the fight to reach the limit. He is extremely fast at 135, but has been just another fighter at 140. In fact, in his last bout against Lewis Burt back in July, he weighed 142, only 48 hours before the fight. So Ferdy, he made 135 by night, not eating or drinking. Not a good move. He feels that he lacked zip on his punches.
That's almost criminal, because you can't have much when you lose that kind of weight that fast, and it's extremely unhealthy for you. He is an action fighter. You'll notice he doesn't waste much time with clinches. He just keeps coming forward. Arroyo trying to make his price come in, and he's got to start working on the body. You just saw a nice little uppercut to the body by Arroyo. He's got to work on the body.
Under a minute left. This is round 3. This is scheduled for 15. To this point, Arroyo's counterpunching has not been effective.
No, because he has not caught the timing of Lightning just yet. As Lightning comes zipping in, punching 1 or 2 punches, Arroyo's a little bit late with a counterpunch. Of course, that's the key to everything, execution. If you knew how to do it just perfectly, every fight would earn you the first round.
And as we mentioned earlier, Arroyo has been a slow start. Oh, and Brown caught Arroyo, and again with the right hand.
That's a danger in this fight. White Lightning can put you out. He's got a punch.
Final seconds, round 3, and a strong finish for Charlie White Lightning Brown.
A beard, huh? Not under my roof. But, Dad, this electric razor is rough on my face.
Try electric shave. It sets up your beard so whiskers stand up and your razor glides.
Electric shave!
Does for an electric razor what lather does for a blade.
I don't like your face.
And this is round 4. Charlie Brown in the black trunks coming off a strong 3rd round. Harry Arroyo in the blue, but it's Brown again to the attack.
Oh, you got to give Arroyo credit for being patient, because Brown has carried the last 2 rounds with that kind of crazy all-out attack of his. You got to give Brown credit. He said he was going to come out winging and fighting and trying to establish himself, and he certainly has. Remember, this is 15 rounds, a long way to go in a championship fight. But they say, and it's been proven, that White Lightning fights his way all the way.
But Brown can get caught to this point. Arroyo has not been able to land. He is usually very effective counter-punching.
He is slightly slower right now than Brown, and his very long arms are not working to advantage. He's not keeping him off with the jab. Since they're so long, he doesn't get that uncorked right before Brown is in.
Brown's last fight in Las Cruces, New Mexico back in July won a split decision over Louis Burt in Burt's hometown.
Good combinations by Brown. Pounded on Arroyo on the ropes. Arroyo, nothing in return.
Midway point. This is round 4. Right hand that just grazed Arroyo. Charlie Brown earned world-class status last September, surviving an early knockdown, and then went on to defeat the veteran Alfredo Escalera, one-time WBC junior lightweight champion. That was at Madison Square Garden in New York.
Key to this fight has been that Brown is first in all of his encounters. He's leading this fight. As an old cornerman yell that goes, "You first, get off first." That is not what Arroyo is doing. He is waiting for the charge and is waiting to counterpunch. Patience may be good, but Brown's are whiling away.
You know, Ferdy, you look at the lightweight division, and it may well be the most competitive at the present time. You have the champions, Bramble, Rosario, Arroyo, host of solid contenders, Mancini and Paul, and White Lightning and Choo-Choo Brown, Jose Luis Ramirez of Mexico. It's quite a division.
It's hot. And historically, it's been a hot division. Right now, Charlie Brown is hot. He has just caught fire in the last 2 rounds, and this round is no different. He's putting some serious damage on Arroyo. Those flurries are going 3, 4, and 5 punches unanswered. In the meantime, Arroyo satisfied to sit and wait for the charge of White Lightning Brown.
Crowd here at Struthers High School, Youngstown, Ohio. On the quiet side, they have thus far been disappointed by the hometown boy, Harry Arroyo. This man, Charlie White Lightning Brown, has taken the play away, at least here at the start of the bout.
In the back. In the back.
And this is round 5. Charlie White Lightning Brown in the black trunks has taken command the last couple of rounds. Harry Arroyo in the blue. Arroyo at 24-0, 18 by knockout. He's won his last 5 of 6 via the KO route. And Brown 23-0, 17 by knockout. Charlie Brown actually comes off, he says, a couple of disappointing efforts despite the win in the hometown of Lewisburg and a win over Raymond DiCarlo in a close 10-round decision. He says they were disappointing outings.
Heavy punching by White Lightning. 2 great right hands landed flush on the jaw of Harry Arroyo. Charlie increasing the not only the velocity but the strength of the punches, is landing right on the jaw of Arroyo, although they don't seem to register anything with him.
Right hand by Arroyo, his best punch of the bout.
I think Arroyo finally has woken up to the fact he better start. He started out the round jabbing, which is what he should have been doing at the beginning with that long arm, instead of waiting for these little firefights that Charlie seems to be winning. Watch how they set up a little firefight, and then when they come in Charlie's 3, 4, 5 punches, Arroyo comes in with 1. Count them as they get into these firefights. They stop, they set, and they go.
Right hand by Brown, and then Arroyo able to slip the onslaught.
But again, it's 2 or 3, 4 punches to 1. That figures heavily in the judging.
Scoring is on the 10-point must system handled by the 3 judges. Referee Larry Hazard does not have a vote. Nice spin move by Arroyo to get off the ropes. 3 judges: Harold Letterman from New Jersey, Frank Cappuccino from Pennsylvania, and Tim Figley from the state of Ohio. To this point, not sharp with his punches. Not able to land squarely on Brown.
And Brown has put in some very heavy right hands, plus this continuous 2 to 3 to 1 ratio that he's landing in punches.
And final seconds, round 5, Arroyo with the right hand, and that gets the crowd going.
Here's New LA, brewed for all the great taste you've come to expect from Anheuser-Busch.
You've shaped this world and changed it, made it better, rearranged it in the way you think and what you drink and everything you do.
Say LA for a great tasting beer with that one slight difference that won't slow you down.
For the way you live your life today. For the way you live today, LA. For the way you live, LA.
Taste it.
This crowd encouraged by the late flurry in round 5 by Harry Arroyo. We are just outside of Youngstown, Ohio, the hometown of Harry Arroyo. Charlie White Lightning Brown having his way throughout the early rounds. Arroyo showing some signs back in round 5, and here he comes again, and he caught him with the right hand. Brown is hurt.
I told you there's no way that Brown can fight going back in a straight line. Not against a guy that punches like Arroyo. Now the corner sort of turned him loose, Arroyo loose. It said start with a jab and now start going after him. Well, if he was waiting, he certainly lulled Charlie Brown into a surprise the opening of the round.
Again, the right on the uppercut, and Brown able to counter. But here's Arroyo once again straightening out, and he has Brown in big trouble. Brown's legs look wobbly.
Brown is disoriented. Those punches are taking their toll.
Brown may be ready to go down.
First clinch of the fight. You can see that Brown's in trouble. Oh, lacing on the part of Harry Arroyo, an ungentlemanly-like act.
Good combination by Arroyo. We've had no knockdowns to this point, although Brown did sting Arroyo several times, particularly in the 3rd and 4th round.
They are bumping heads. There's going to be a cut if this continues. This is the only way Brown can fight, savagely forward, falling and brawling, because when he goes back, it's too much for him.
Nice setup with the jab on the part of Arroyo. We are under a minute left in round 6, scheduled for 15.
Fighters that go back in a straight line with their head up are tailor-made for a knockout.
Crowd here in Youngstown standing.
A difficult round for young Charlie Brown, who was having his way through the first 5 rounds.
Beautiful right by Arroyo. He's been very successful with the right hand and the uppercut.
Brown must feel like this is a 2-hour round. He has taken a savage pummeling in round 6.
To the end of the 6th round, and Harry Arroyo will hear it from the crowd at the bell.
Your jaw back for Rolaids.
When I race through a meal, I get terrible indigestion.
How do you spell relief?
Rolaids, 100% relief.
Rolaids. I've tried others, and Rolaids is what really works for me.
Like a sponge, Rolaids antacid medicine consumes 100% of the acid required to give millions 100% relief.
I spell it Rolaids. And what could be better than 100% relief? For millions of Americans, Rolaids spells 100% relief.
Marv Albert, Ferdy Pacheco, Youngstown, Ohio, round 7. And I see you have given Harry Arroyo a 10-8 round back in round 6.
That definitely was a 10-8 round. Score now being 57-56 in Charlie Brown's favor. Unofficially, of course.
Those of you who may have just tuned in, Harry Arroyo, known as a slow starter, demonstrated that in dramatic fashion as Charlie Brown was able to do whatever he wanted against Arroyo over the first 4 rounds. But Arroyo back very strong in round 6.
It's as if Arroyo's corner pressed a button that says fight, and he came out like a rocket and just took apart Charlie Brown.
Harry Arroyo defending his IBF lightweight title. And again able to land on Brown, who is hurt.
Charlie Brown just about to go down, had to grab Arroyo's arms. Here comes Arroyo.
But Brown back with the left-right combination. And again Arroyo tees off on Brown.
No dog in Charlie Brown. He just keeps coming back fighting. That's his trademark. And as long as he doesn't have enough energy to attack going forward, it's bad news for Charlie Brown. Bleeding from the nose now is Charlie Brown, his eyes lumping up. Arroyo with that patience, just hunting, waiting for his chance.
Effective left hook by Arroyo. Coming up on a minute left. And this, the 7th round, scheduled for 15.
That was a perfect example of the counter-punching ability of Harry Arroyo we just spoke of. As Charlie came in, he nailed him with a right hand, perfectly placed. Brown fighting with his head. It's a miracle that hasn't been a cut. Warnings by Hazard have been just verbal, not official.
Combination by Brown that had nothing on it. And Arroyo, as you saw, laughed it off. Crowd overreacting. Arroyo did not connect, but there he did. And that will wrap it for round 7.
Announcing Sears Automotive and Hardware Sale. Save 10 to 35% on selected tires. Weather handler steel belted radials as low as 4 for $99. Save over 50% on these oil filters, just 99 cents. This Craftsman 99-piece tool set, now $88. This Craftsman circular saw or router, both half price, now $49.99. Hurry in for hundreds of savings now.
There's more for your life at Sears.
In the past, this man, Charlie White Lightning Brown, has been able to thrive on adversity. He's come back from some troublesome situations. Well, he's in that situation right now. As he saw, he took the right hand from Arroyo. Harry Arroyo in the blue, out of Youngstown, Ohio, 24-0, 18 by knockout against undefeated Charlie Brown, who's 23-0, 17 by knockout.
Arroyo fighting with that patience that's characterized the style as it's... He's in trouble. Brown's in trouble.
Combination by Arroyo, and Hazard steps in, and he's called it. He says it's all over. Struthers High School, just outside of Harry Arroyo's hometown of Youngstown, reacting as Arroyo successfully defends his IBF lightweight title. 41 seconds. Round 8. Arroyo stopping Charlie White Lightning Brown. A come-from-behind performance by Arroyo, who looked to be in trouble earlier in the bout. A look at the combination. You see the referee Hazard checking it out. Arroyo making his move on Brown, landing repeatedly. Brown up against the ropes, and Hazard with the quick decision. That's it. And from the other angle, we're watching from behind Charlie Brown as the crowd continues to chant for Harry Arroyo. The combination that spelled conclusion for Charlie White Lightning Brown, who has suffered his first defeat as a professional. He's now 23-1. So Harry Arroyo continues his unbeaten record, 25-0, now 19 by knockout. We'll be back to talk with Harry Arroyo right after these words. Most of this crowd here in Youngstown, Ohio, has enjoyed what they saw just moments ago. Harry Arroyo successfully defending his IBF lightweight title by stopping Charlie White Lightning Brown 41 seconds of round 8. As you take a look at the final seconds, the referee Larry Hazard checking it out closely. No knockdowns to this point, but Arroyo pummeling Brown, and Hazard at that point decided to call it, and a wise move by the referee. Yet another angle as Arroyo sets it up. You saw the feint. He has Brown against the ropes. It was Brown who set the early pace and looked to have Arroyo in trouble first 3-4 rounds. But that's the story. Arroyo able to rally. We finally saw the counter punching that we have seen in the past that has been so effective for this young man, the 26-year-old Harry Arroyo, who is alongside the fight doctor. Let's go to Ferdy.
I don't know who to congratulate here. Harry Arroyo, his beautiful wife.
Thank you very much, Ferdy. I've trained really hard for this fight. I had 8 weeks to prepare for it. And I'd like to say hello to my son, Harry Jr., that's not here, my wife, and the baby expecting. I also want to say a particular hello to a very, very dear friend, Frank Rabuzzi. He had an heart operation about 2 weeks ago, and he couldn't make it. I wish him well, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. The fight was one of those things that we anticipated, the patience of Arroyo, but how much patience could you have? You went 5 rounds there where Charlie was getting very brave.
I tell you, a lot of people said a lot of things about Charlie, but watching his films, I knew he can take one heck of a punch, and I knew he can throw a lot of combinations. So I try to take my time, and when he throws his combinations, he throws them a little wide, and I just try to move and counter.
Did you see the openings as he was going back in a straight line? You seemed to be hitting him with every right hand you threw.
Yes, every time he threw the right hand or his left jab, he lifted his chin, and all I had to do was step to the side and try to counter it with my own right or hook.
You think the fight was stopped correctly when you had him on the ropes?
Well, that's the discretion of the referee. I think he did a very good job, and I think if I was the referee, I would have done the same thing.
Hazard always does a magnificent job, and for another man that does a magnificent job, we're going back to Marv Albert at ringside.
Thank you very much.
Ferdy, you're always so kind. What a terrific lightweight division it is these days. Harry Arroyo retaining his IBF lightweight title. Livingstone Bramble, of course, the champ of the WBA, and Edwin Rosario holds the crown in the lightweight division of the WBC. Harry Arroyo stopping Charlie White Lightning Brown here in Youngstown, 41 seconds of round 8.